facts. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Yeah, it's Thursday already. Trudging Thursdays. Oh, yeah. Trudging Thursdays. So, welcome. I was really enjoying the song. I was listening to Ballroom Blitz. Ballroom Blitz. It's just anything with noise and dinging, and that's why I like the Beatles so much. There's all this extra noise that catches, but like my brain catches that stuff, but it's hard for me. Like right now, my wife, she's doing the dishes in the other room, but she's singing, and it throws me off. She's not doing anything wrong, so but it throws me off. So I have to switch around. I'm not gonna close the door or anything now, because then she'll think that she's disrupting me. I want her to enjoy her. She's doing dishes. I'm live. I think I should probably appease her. What do you think? What do you think, folks? Huh? I'm gonna blow my nose real quick. Hold on. And it turned into a ballroom blitz. Ballroom blitz. Ballroom blitz. All right. What are we going to talk about this morning? It is okay to say no. I'm going to have to tell somebody no today. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. I'm the kind of person where if I hear from you and all you do is ask for favors every time I hear from you, I might get a little weird, because I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Is this an actual relationship, or, because I really want my relationships to be reciprocal, right? Not all of them are going to be that way. Sometimes they're going to be kind of lopsided for a little bit, right? We talked about this the other day, where relationships are 50-50, right? So it might just even need to be said, hey, the only time I hear from you is when you need something from me. That might be all I need to say, right? Because I also don't want to lose this friendship. And it's not like it's on the rocks or something. It's not. I got kind of excited. Somebody asked me if I wanted to be on their podcast. I'm like, well, can you send me your website? Because you guys know me. I'm kind of particular. I'm kind of particular on who I hang out with, what I do things for, what I support. And then for only $65, I'm like, nope, sorry, buddy. I'm like, I don't pay to play. Sorry. Then they were, they said, okay. They didn't bother me anymore. But they did have a website link. It didn't work. So they're probably like, this guy's poor. I'll tell you something. I don't have $65 anyway. I don't have it. I had $85, but I had to spend $35 last night. I spent it on toothpicks, fish oil, and pomade, and it has not arrived yet. That's right. Right now, this is my natural look till it dries. It'll look about the same. Whew. All right. I got to text the kids. Hold on. because I went and turned up the heat, but then they opened the windows. And when you do that, right? You guys know. So I just need to write them real quick as soon as I can find them. It's been a while. It's been a while since I texted my son. He lives upstairs. Dear Lord, okay, fine. We'll just do it the easy way, right? Put in his name. Okay. Okay, I'm warm enough. I am warm enough. Enough. LOL. All right, there we go. Okay. All right, you know what time it is? We'll just go ahead and jump into that. Yesterday, I did my so I'm somebody asked me to be a professor in their class. Let's pull this up. I should show you guys my new well, I made this yesterday. I like the way it turned out. I do. All right. See, it always does. Why? Weird. Weird. What the? Okay. Something weird is going on here. All right. Wow. Okay. Something weird happened. My face was in it. My face shouldn't be in it at all. I didn't do any recording for it. Oh, I know what it was. Okay. Okay. You ready? Where is it? Window. Media player. There we go. All right. Check it out. This is what everybody will see when they watch the class. Not much sound to it. There we go. And that's about it. It's nothing. It took me
All right, let's get in.
Oh, that's because it was. Whoa, stop, Dion, shut up. Okay. All right. I guess that was the whole class. That's why I was doing that. Okay. I should have noticed it was 25 minutes long, not 12 seconds. Anyway, let's get to Dion's daily funnies. That was, yeah. All right. What is Forrest Gump's password? 1 Forrest 1. 1 Forrest 1. What state is known for their small drinks? Minnesota. Unless you ask somebody from Minnesota, they'll deny it. They'll deny it. What does a nosy pepper do? It gets jalapeno business. All up in your business. Your business. Is chat working? Let's go check. Nothing there. Okay. Then most likely is. If two vegetarians get into an argument, is it still a beef? I have a clean conscience. Yeah, it's never been used. Yeah. I love telling dad jokes. Sometimes he even laughs. How do you stop a bull from charging? You cancel its credit card. Yeah. I think people are getting wore out on these jokes. I don't know. Yeah, everybody's like, I saw that this one was how it works. I've heard how it works so many times. I don't need to listen to it. I know it. Then why would I be doing it? If I know it, I have this thing memorized. I have it memorized. I'm going to tell you now, I still need to hear it. I still need to hear it. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name's Dion. I no longer ask you to say hello because it's just a waste of time. You're alcoholics. You're going to say hello if you want to say hello. It's just how we are. So I quit doing it. Just kind of like and still nobody has noticed. But I took out in our format in our meeting, there was a part about crosstalk, no crosstalk. I took it out because people were thinking they were crosstalking when they were encouraging. Our group's more encouraging. Nobody. It's been a while since somebody has really crosstalked in that meeting. I think the last person that probably did it was probably me. I tend to run my mouth. Sometimes I forget. We're all human. We're only human. Jason Mraz. You a Jason Mraz fan? He's fantastic in concert. I remember like half that show. That whole show was an adventure. So my wife has this knack for winning concert tickets. That's how we went to Billy Joel. I know. I go to a lot of I see a lot of concerts and stuff, but we're broke. It's because my wife has this knack of winning concert tickets. I shit you not. Okay. And so we won tickets to Jason Mraz, and I was still drinking at the time. And there was somebody else who was opening. I forget. But Christina Perry. Was it Christina Perry? Honey, who opened up for Jason Mraz?
You're right.
Okay, thank you. It was Christina Perry. Yay. I remembered the name correctly. That doesn't. And I was kind of drunk and I got mad at her because all I had for her to sign was a Jason Mraz thing. She didn't want to sign it, but I had to get something else. So I yelled at her for that. And then about a little bit past halfway through the concert, I started to turn into a dick, man. I don't know what happened. And I think somebody was, because I've always been protected, especially when I get drunk. I will really point out what other people are doing. Right? We were kind of down. We were down, and then I don't remember what happened, but I do remember security saying, "Sir, if you don't settle down, we are going to kick you out." And I'm like, okay. And I just, I'm going to calm down. I'm like, okay, we're going to go back to our seats. Fourth row. It was probably a ruse. I'm really good at getting up closer. Now, I'll tell you right now, I don't know if I did that on purpose, but there's a good chance I did. My brain plans that stuff out. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do how it works now.
It was on purpose.
Was it on purpose?
Watch, I'm going to get us closer.
Did I say that?
Yes.
Okay, so it was on purpose. I went and started a bunch of fake fights to get us closer. All right. I told you I'm great at manipulating the system. Hi, Amber. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're here. You're about the only person that listens regularly anymore. I can't wait for summertime so we can have Isaac back on, Excuse me. All right. How it works. Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. This is true. It is true. I've watched it. I've gone through it. I've watched it. I've watched it a lot. And people that thoroughly follow the path make it. Now, right? Now, there's going to be some things you got to maintain this stuff, man. Can't do AA is not one and done. Right? Just like I was saying earlier, you probably heard how it works 1,000 times, maybe more. I don't know. I have. I've heard it so many times. I have it memorized. Okay. But you and I both know that that my forgetter works best, right? Hey, Nick, good to see you, man. So, all right. Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. What is the path? Well, it's the 12 steps. Okay, that's the path we're talking about. Those who do not recover are people who cannot or will not completely give themselves to this simple program. It's a big ask. Kind of a big ask. Completely give yourself to this program. That's the hard part. The completeness. We alcoholics, there's things we don't want to give up. Till we find that they're really serving us no good purpose. Like justifiable anger. That's usually one amongst men. Or not even just men. What about trauma? Those things did happen, did they not? You're holding on to some of that anger that other people did to you because it feels justified. Okay. Well, this is called shooting yourself in your own foot. That's what that's called. Holding on to the anger of other people, letting people live rent free in your head. Is that what you're doing? Because it's not going to get you very far. It has to be complete. It has to be the whole thing. Well, it says it cannot or will not. I've met some cannots. I have. They're heartbreaking. They're heartbreaking because they try and try and try. And you watch them try with all of their earnestness. All of it. And they still don't make it. They die drunk. They couldn't see our way of life. It happens. It does. Are these bad people? Do I think these people are going to hell? No, I do not. No, I don't believe that. I don't get that feeling. No. I've also seen people will not, who have the capability, but are just refusing to do it, right? To completely give themselves to this simple program. Usually men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. That's a big word, constitutionally incapable. Now we're using $10 words, right? I'm going to tell you what that means. Well, let's just go look it up. Let's go look up constitutionally incapable. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. Tomorrow, I keep meaning to send you a message. Let me know if tomorrow is okay for you, Michelle. All right. Constitutionally incapable meaning. Describes a deep inherent fundamental inability to perform a specific action. Right? What does it mean? Able to do basic temperament, nature, character. It implies deep ingrained, almost born. So listen to this. Constitutionally incapable describes a person who is inherently, naturally, or fundamentally unable to do something due to their basic temperament, nature, or character. It implies deeply ingrained, almost born with it, limitation rather than a temporary inability, often used in context of honesty, capacity for change, or specific skills. Right? And it uses AA. So what are some of the synonyms, right? Inherently, fundamentally, intrinsically, naturally, essentially. It's called denial. It's a fancy way to say denial. Or that we were born this way. We were born this way. And that's what I believe. Maybe not everybody, but for Dion, I was born an alcoholic. You are not going to be able to convince me otherwise. You're going to have to come up with a lot of proof because all the proof points towards that. Okay. Now, that's fine and dandy. Is it the truth? I don't know, but I will tell you this. It answered that question so I could at least move on. Yeah, that's what it did. All right. So constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. We don't know how. And it's also a denial. All right. They're such unfortunates. They are not at fault. They seem to have been born that way. Now, they're saying it seems that they've been born that way because we don't 100% know. For you, it might have been different. Maybe you weren't born that way. I know I was. Maybe me being born and me being different during that time didn't have anything to do with my alcoholism. Maybe it had to do with other mental illnesses. I do not know. I don't know. But I do know that I can always remember that I've always known how to manipulate the system to my advantage. Always. I still know how to do that. I don't always do it though. Right? I described it earlier with a concert that I intentionally did that. I've done that at a lot of concerts. I'll start something over here so I can sneak by. I went to a live at Fiddler's Green, and there weren't that many people there. It was like raining, almost snowing. I got free tickets. My friends went. They didn't seem to be enjoying themselves. And we could hear each other talking. And at a concert, if I can hear you talking without yelling, then it's just not loud enough. But that's Fiddler's Green for you. All right. So what I did is, so you have the grass and some seats right here, which is where we were. Then you have a big walkway, and then you have the other seats, the ones that are up front, and they have the people right there to check your tickets and stuff. And so I hopped that part, and there was nobody there. And I walked down the little aisle on the side of that. It turned out there was this huge guy. This guy must have been like 6'5", 300 something pounds. And I stood right behind him and I hid right behind him, second row center for a live concert. Yeah, it was a blast. I told everybody to come with me. Anyway, there's one of my other stories. Anyway, they are not at fault. They seem to have been born that way. They are naturally incapable of grasping and developing a manner of living which demands rigorous honesty. What is rigorous honesty? We're going to go look it up again because I have something in my head, but is it right? Rigorous honesty definition. It even says rigorous honesty in AA. It doesn't need to be. Okay. Rigorous honesty is the practice of being completely truthful with oneself and others, devoid of all motives to deceive. Right. So it's an internal honesty. Right. Rigorous, honest. Now, rigorous doesn't mean that I'm beating up on myself, that I need to call myself names, that I need to determine my worth, that I need to do all those things. No, that's not what that means. Right? It means that I admit when I'm wrong. Well, Dion, why are you mad? Because I'm not getting what I want. And it's going to be hard to say that because it's going to make you sound like you're 5 fucking years old again. But I'm going to tell you something. It is the way to strength. It is the way to courage. When you can admit to other people that you had done wrong, even when it's something small. We make mistakes. Right? We do. Their chances are less than average. Their chances are less than average to whom? Non-alcoholics. Okay? Of the rigorous honesty. Okay? Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that all non-alcoholics are, that all non-alcoholics have rigorous honesty, because that's not true. Right? But their chances are less. Our chances are less than average that we have these. Goes on to say there are those too who suffer from grave emotional and mental disorders, but many of them do recover if they have the capacity to be honest. Here we are telling the truth again. I know that to be true because I suffer from other grave emotional and mental disorders. Actually, it's not grave emotional anymore. Yeah, I'm not. I kind of work past that. Not all the way. Sometimes my depression shows up and I go into depression for a little bit. If you listen to me for very long, you've probably seen it. All right. But I'm able to work through it because I have the capacity to be honest. And what's that honesty? I'm depressed. That's the honesty. Before I would try and hide my depression. I would try and do this. I would try and do that. All right. So our stories disclose in a general way what we used to be like, what happened, and what we are like now. That's how we tell our stories. So they're right there. Why they told you how to tell your story at a speaker meeting in the middle of how it works, I'm not sure, but they did. Okay. Man, I'm so sorry. Give me a second here. I'm going to take a little drink. All right. Our stories disclose in a general way what we used to be like, what happened, and what we are like now. All right. So we usually want to wait a little bit before we tell our story. Not always. Sometimes we've had some people with 90 days give a quick lead or a little bit of their story in our. But if you're doing a speaker meeting or something, usually you want some of the what it's like now to be able to share. All right. Because I've noticed that when people tend to share too early and they don't have much of what it's like now, they might feel like a fraud. So, all right. If you've decided you want what we have and are willing to go to any length to get it, then you are ready to take certain steps. Do you hear that? There's some requirements there. If you have decided, that's step 3. Because remember, we're making that decision in step 3. Well, probably step 1, 2, and 3. Well, let's throw all 3 in there. Why not? I'd rather have all 3 than just the one. All right. No, they're all 3 are non-action steps. Not like you're creating more work. All right. Right. So if you've decided what we have and you are willing to go to any length to get it, then you are ready to take certain steps. And those steps are 4 through 12. All right. Because they're saying you got to do this part first before you're willing, or be willing before you're ready. All right. At some of these, we balked. Yeah, we complain. Balk, balk, balk. Yeah. We thought we could find an easier, softer way. There's so many easier, softer ways out there right now, and they don't work. But we could not. But we at some of these we balked. We thought we could find an easier, softer way, but we could not. Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people, of alcoholics, came before you and they tried these ways and they're telling you they didn't work. Oh, but we live in 2026 now and we have AI and we have computers and we have the, but humans are not any smarter today. In fact, we're a little bit stupider, which isn't a word, by the way. Stupider is not a word. That's the joke. All right. So no. Am I going to believe the people? Am I going to believe the people who have 90 years of success, or the person who just came out with their newfangled way of getting you and keeping you sober, that Chat GPT created for them, and they're just regurgitating what it says? Because that's what most of them are. I can tell. You can tell by the way, you can tell by the way it's written. All right. It's just too eloquent. I know, because I use Chat GPT a lot. And I know how it talks. Yes, hello. Can't you see I'm busy? He's like, yeah, but you have enough room in your lap. He thinks I do. It's just my watch. I'll move my arm and boop, he'll be there. Oh, ta-da. He's like, there's enough room, Dad. All right. Then he goes on, with all the earnestness at our command, we beg of you to be fearless and thorough from the very start. With all the earnestness, they're bequeathing you to not try the easier, softer way. They don't want you to go through. I don't want you to go through the last 10, 15 years of literal hell, or even another year, man. I want you to go through that. And if you can learn from my mistakes, like my children do, that's how my children are thriving. They learn from the mistakes that I made. Thank you, God. Even last night in the meeting, I was so proud of my daughter. Okay. because she didn't have an easy childhood, and that's on me. That is directly on me. And she is allowed to talk about that. That is her home group. The neat thing was I didn't take any offense to it. I didn't need to, even though she wasn't talking directly about me. Okay? But I'm just proud of her that she feels that our relationship is good enough that she can say that without having to feel guilty or bad, because my parents have not given me that. Right? A little upset that my mom decided to leave the AA group because I was there. That hurt. That hurt. Well, there's just some things that are too hard to talk about. My daughter's doing it. She's at 7 months, 42 years. I probably shouldn't be talking about this here. But, because the amends wasn't made. Okay? You can't just move the gravestones. You got to move the bodies too. Got to move both. Got to be complete. The amends wasn't done. Was on my side. Right? But when you don't learn how to forgive yourself and work through these things so that you can even use your bad past as an example, it's going to be tough. All right. Was it easy to hear? No. But it was only not easy to hear in the fact that she had to go through that, just like everybody that I listened to. All right. Some of us try to hold on to our old ideas, and the result was no until we let go. Absolutely. There's another finalization. Absolutely. Right? Because it's going to go on and say half measures avail us nothing. Well, this goes right with this. Not only that, but my ideas. Some of us try to hold on to our old ideas. Those ideas get me in jail. They end up in I end up in treatment. I end up in peculiar places that I don't want to be. I do stupid crap. I upset people. I hurt people. I get in a car and drive around thinking that I can drive better when I'm drunk. And I never thought that. But, but I did it anyway. I tried to avoid it. I don't know. So we have to remember that we deal with alcohol, cunning, baffling, powerful. I'm going to throw patient in there. It'll wait for you for years. Yeah. Without help, it is too much for us, but there is one who has all power. That one is God. May you find him now. Yes, God has all power. Well, see, I don't really know God. So let's talk about this just a little bit. Let's talk about it. And I call God God so that it's not misunderstood. Although I am leaning towards a Christian God type of God. Because see, there's information there. Kind of helps me out. Right? Who knows? I don't know what God looks like. I don't understand God's gender. I don't know that they wear white robes or green robes or purple robes because purple's the best color, or that if that purple and blue and red and green are even colors. Who knows? I don't know. I do know this. God relieved me of my obsession. I know that. And it was perfect. It had to be perfect. I'm one of those people. I'm an all or nothing. Okay. Either I'm all for staying sober or I'm all for getting drunk. There's no in betweens for me. I needed the obsession lifted. Without it, I can't stay sober. I don't know what it is. All right. So I had to give everything. And it goes on to say, half measures availed us nothing. We stood at the turning point. Turning point means you need to make a decision. That's what a turning point is. It's the crossroads. The crossroads, the blues, you know, a guitarist goes to the crossroads to meet the devil. Devil makes him a great guitar player for his soul, right? These are the crossroads. It's the same thing. We're dealing with your soul, and you've been giving it away. You've been giving it to the devil for years through alcohol. Yeah. Because I believe that alcohol is a demonic spirit. Not something I really say in AA meetings a lot. Wouldn't probably really go over too well. But here at the Daily Trudge, I can speak a little bit more openly on that. It's the devil. And it wants me isolated, not necessarily dead. Okay? A demonic spirit doesn't want me dead. It wants me to live because it's feeding off my suffering. It wants me to stay alive so that it can continue feeding. Once I'm gone, it's done. It can't utilize me anymore. Those scrapes that you were in, who knows? We say it was God, but maybe it was a demonic spirit keeping you away from something because it wanted to keep you alive. Who knows? Just thinking here. I'm probably thinking too far. I can tell you that. We're going to go with God because it was good stuff. Right? Anyway, back to this. So half measures ain't going to get you none. Nah. Zero. No. We stood at the turning point. We asked his protection care with complete abandon. There's that finalization again. There it is again with complete abandon. Here are the steps we took, which are suggested as a program of recovery. Just cross out the suggested. Here are the steps we took, which, well, you know, yeah. Yeah, it's suggested. And it's suggested in the fact that when you jump out of a plane, you pull your ripcord. I'm not going to read the steps. You know the steps. So I'm not going to read them. Many of us exclaimed, "What an order! I can't go through with it." Yes, you can. It just seems overwhelming. This is why we have sponsors. This is why we have guides. This is why we have a fellowship. Okay? You shouldn't really read this book alone. Not the first time. Because you're not going to quite understand it. You should use I, Steve. No, we. This is a we thing on this part. It's a program. It's a we program, right? So, anyway, one order I can't. Do not be discouraged. No one among us has been able to maintain anything like perfect adherence to these principles. Well, clearly they wrote this book before me. I'm kidding. All right. No, I don't maintain anything like perfect adherence to the principles. No. Thank God for the 10th step. Okay. But I have to apologize less. So I'm making progress, and that's what it's going to talk about here in a sec. We are not saints. The point is that we're willing to go along spiritual lines. There's that willingness again. Willing. Are we willing? The principles we have set down are guides to progress. People are always asking, am I doing it? It's right here. It says, the principles we have set down are guides to progress. Are you marking your progress? Are you doing that? Okay. This next line is where the saying, principles not perfection or progress not perfection came from, but it is incorrect. That is incorrect. Right? They just took out some words so that it'd be fun to say. No, the line is we claim spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. Are you claiming? Are you claiming your spiritual progress? It says the principle we have set down are guides to progress. But if you're not claiming spiritual progress because you want to doubt that you're not perfect, you're off the beam. No, we use perfection as a way for progress. Okay? Even with some of these sayings that are coming out, cart before the horse. That is the cart before the horse. Do you want to claim spiritual progress or do you want to claim you're not perfect? Those are the choices. You don't get both. They don't work. They're not compatible. Our description of the alcoholic, the chapter to the agnostics, and our personal adventures before and after make clear 3 pertinent ideas. A, that we were alcoholic, could not manage our own lives. B, that probably no human power could have relieved our alcoholism, which was totally true for me. Absolutely. And C, that God could and would if he were sought. So a little deep voice in there for you. All right. Well, if you like what we do here, please like, love, share, whatever you feel is appropriate. If you'd like to donate, you could always do it through Venmo. Anything helps. The Daily Trudge is and needs to be self-supporting. You can donate at Trudging Together through Venmo or the Cash App Dion G. Miller, because Trudging Together was already taken. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And keep on trudging.